Hey guys, it's Rachel from The Lorraine Lamb, and today I have my March movie wrap-up. For today's video, I will not be going over the dates I watched the film and my notes on my Excel spreadsheet on my computer. I'm just very time crunched today to put out this video and film a few others. This week has just been completely crazy, and I thought today I would have more time to dedicate to this, but unfortunately I do not. So yeah, we're going to get into it. This month I only managed to watch 5 films, which is pretty crappy because I really wanted to watch 8 minimum. I want to watch 2 films a week. One I usually watch with my friend Ray, and the other one I'm watching independently. And I only managed to watch 5 films. I don't know what happened. Like, January was so good. February kind of declined, and then this is just like, blah. So I'm hoping April will be a much better month. If you've watched these wrap-ups before, basically I go over the movies I watched, and then I go over my rankings. So I'm basically going to go over the order in which I watched these films. So the first film I watched was Ira and Abby, and this is an independent film. I really was interested in watching this because I watched The Giant Mechanical Man. Yes, just making sure I got the title right. And it had Chris Messina, and every time I watch a film I try to look up the IMDb of the actors. And I already knew he was in the Mindy Project because I love that show. But this movie sounded really interesting. It's basically about 2 strangers, Ira and Abby, and they both have their problems, but they meet one day, they have an instant connection, and they decide to get married because they're like, the divorce rate is 50-50, we might as well give it a shot. And it follows their relationship and how it develops. And it's such a good film, it's instantly become one of my favorites, and I really want to rewatch it super soon. I didn't find the time last month to rewatch it, but that's one I'm really, really excited to rewatch in the future. Then I watched Rogue One, which is a Star Wars movie, and this is the movie that is like the prequel to the original trilogy. And I was not a big fan of this film. I'm not going to get into what it's about because of spoilers, but I just didn't find the characters to be as compelling, and I think that's what really let me down when it came to like the overall story. Then I watched Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. I was so excited to watch these films, and I've heard like they're so referenced in pop culture. I've heard so much about them that I was really excited to get to them. And I know there's been some, like, there's that Uma Thurman story about the set in that car. That part, which also I was, like, very intrigued to see how they kind of played that scene off. But this movie was so good. I've never seen a Quentin Tarantino film before. So this is a good foray into his directorial style. And basically, this film is about a girl, and she is seeking revenge because on the day of her wedding, everybody she loved and cared about got shot by these old assassins that she used to work with. And that might be a kind of run-of-the-mill description, but I think I just want to leave it a little bit vague just so you guys can get into it. And it's so good. Me and my friend Ray were watching it, and we had to cut it short the one night. And then the next night we started watching it again, and got to the end of the first film, there was like this giant like whoa moment. And we're instantly like, next one, like we have to start it at least. Like we might not be able to finish it, but we need to start it. Then the last film I watched this month was Star Wars The Last Jedi. This was just released at the end of March, and I ended up watching it on the last day of March. And I absolutely adored this film. I loved it even more than The Force Awakens. I think because we already knew the story and we knew all these characters because they were introduced in The Force Awakens. So we get right to the meat and potatoes of the story, and I really enjoyed it. Now on to the rankings. So we're going to go from least favorite to most favorite. So least favorite, I'd have to give it to Rogue One. I just was not a big fan. I love all the other Star Wars movies I've seen pretty much. The first episode of the prequel series, not a big fan of, but like I'd say that was better than this one because at least I liked more of the characters. I just felt very disconnected from the characters, and that's I think what, like when I think Star Wars I think of the iconic characters, and with this movie I can't even think pretty much, I can only think of one name in the whole film, and that's the main character's name, and even she wasn't super compelling. I just feel like the characters are a little bit flat for me. I know that's maybe not a popular opinion because I know Star Wars is such a coveted series, but that's the only one that I really had a problem with getting through. Like it made me really tired. I almost fell asleep. Like I think it was just because of the characters. The story wasn't bad, it was just the character development wasn't my favorite. The next film in number 3 is Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is so hard to rank this month because this movie, Kill Bill, and Ira and Abby, those 3 were so, so good. And this is only number 3 by default, really, because I couldn't tie everything up. but I just absolutely adored this one, and it pains me to put it at 3 because it deserves much higher. In second place, I had the Kill Bill series. This movie is just so good too, and it was aesthetically pleasing, and I think that's the style pushed it a little bit upwards in the list in comparison to Star Wars, because Star Wars has a lot of special effects and all that, but this film, I included both of them in this ranking, had a lot of different mixed mediums in it. It was very interesting storytelling and something that I hadn't really experienced in cinema, so that's why I got number 2. And number 1 went to Iron Abbey because I just love this rom-com. I feel like it doesn't get enough attention. I am a person who loves contemporary stories. That is my forte, but I've been lately getting into more action and adventure and really been enjoying that. I used to not really gravitate towards it, but lately I've been absolutely adoring it, and I just had to put that one as number 1 because that one was the one that I kept thinking about the longest. Like, Kill Bill I thought about a lot, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Iron Abbey, but like that one kept coming back to me, and I feel like I've thought about that. Like, I'm not timing how long I think about stuff, but if we were going to time it, it would be Iron Abbey that I've thought about the most afterwards. Star Wars The Last Jedi comes in a close second for that one just because I recently watched it. It's still fresh in my mind. It's the last film I actually did sit down and watch. But yeah, that is my rankings from March movie wrap up. I watched a lot of good films besides one, but you know, 4 good films out of the 5 is pretty good. Next month I hope to at least watch more than 5 films. My goal is 8 films for next month, so I'll get back to you on how that goes. I feel like that is a very attainable goal, but I'm saying that at the beginning of the month, so who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you guys watch. Like, is there any movies that you think I should definitely see? Because I definitely love to check those out and evaluate whether I would want to see those. I'm very picky. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.